What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the 145 half marathon build. My name is Andrew. If you're new, welcome to Andrew Miller Mileage. So today we are at the track. I'm going to be talking about my track workouts that I've been using to help me improve my times for my half marathon. Now, are these necessary? Not really. Are they helpful? Absolutely. I believe track workouts are a fantastic tool. I used to think otherwise. Last year I was doing a lot of track workouts and I didn't see much benefit, but then again I was not using them adequately, and I will explain a little bit better in just a moment. But anyways, we're at the track now. I'm going to talk about today's workout, we're going to talk about some other workouts, and we're going to talk about the benefits that you can get from track workouts. So anyways, let's get into it. We're on the track. It is a gravel track. That is the track that I currently have at this location, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I don't have spikes, which doesn't really make a huge difference, but I like it. You don't even need a track, really, to do track workouts. You can do this on a road course, you can do this at a park, you can do this just about anywhere. But it does make it easier having an exactly 400-meter loop to go off of. But really, you can just use your watch and measure out a quarter mile, which is 400 meters, and you'll know just about what you're doing. But anyways, the whole purpose to these track workouts is to get my body adjusted to going these speeds, being able to really push those speeds into different intervals, different distances, doing anything from 400 meters, 800 meters, and so on and so forth. And at first, I was doing this wrong. At least I think I was doing it wrong. So when I used to do it, I would always push for my 5K pace. Now, my 5K pace is definitely not the same as my 10K pace or my half marathon pace. So what I decided to do was to still keep a similar structure to my workout, which I will talk about in just a minute, but I dialed the paces back. So instead of pushing for my 5K pace, which for me right now is about a 6-minute, 20-second mile, I'm pulling it back to my 10K pace that I'm shooting for, which is around a 7:15. And that's been okay. Now, the reason for that is I like to think that my 10K time in a 10K race correlates a little bit better with a half marathon than a 5K would. Because you think about it, if you break down a half marathon, it's really like 2 10Ks. I mean, a little bit more, a little extra kick, less than a mile. But I feel like that correlates better. And with the strategy that I like to use for half marathons and the one I'm implicating for the Love Run, it works out even better because the way I'm doing it is negative splitting. Now, what I mean by that is my first segment of miles, I'm going to talk about this more in my race strategy video and race week video coming up in like 2 weeks, but is my first mile will be slower than my last mile. A lot of people, when they go into a race, they think, oh, go out fast, go out strong, go out really hard. And then by mile 10, 11, 12, 13, I've done this, you start to slow down, you start to bog out, and it's not nearly as strong or as fast as it was previously. So this way, you're starting off steady, you maintain it for a while, and then my plan is to hit around mile 6, mile 7, start to just drop and get a little bit faster, and a little bit faster, a little bit faster. It's gonna make a damn good finish line picture, that's all I gotta say. So that is what these track workouts are being used for. They're being used to adjust my body to those speeds that I need to get for those declining paces, and just get a little bit faster, get a little bit more efficient, and it's a damn good cardiovascular workout. Well, since this is my last track workout that I will be doing for this half marathon build, we are not going to be going super hard today. I've also been a little bit sore, so we're going to do about a 5-mile workout. So that is going to be 1 mile warm-up, 8 reps of 400-meter repeats with a 1-minute rest in between, and then we'll be doing 2 800s. Now, all of those repeats are going to be at my 10K pace between 7:15 and a 7:30-minute mile, and then one last mile cool down to wrap it all up. Now, I've been a little sore today, so I'm not really pushing myself to really, try. And that's why I'm kind of taking these sets a little bit smaller than I would. And I'm not going to get too much faster, I think, in the next 2 weeks. Really, the benefits are going to come from me resting. But track workouts, like I said, fantastic tool that I've used through this entire build so far, and I've been very happy with the results. And when I get back to the house, I'll explain a little bit better on how I use these to build over time and get these speeds just a little bit faster. But now to get into tonight's workout. So let's get started. And we take a quick brief moment to interrupt this workout tutorial about track workouts to real quickly say thank you to everybody who has helped with getting us to 300 subscribers here. And a special shout out to our 300th subscriber. Insert the name here, Watsoku. Hopefully I didn't say that wrong, but I told them I would shout them out. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to Watsoku for dropping those subscribes. I truly appreciate everything you guys have helped you with accomplishing so far. And I plan to keep on grinding and going, keep bringing you guys more content. I got a lot of good stuff coming up. So please stay tuned. If you're new, please consider dropping a subscribe. I'd really love to have you around. Back to the video. All right, that's better. Switch to the shorts. Ain't no way I'm doing 400s in sweatpants. So anyways, 8 400-meter repeats at my 10K pace. So roughly a 7:15 to 7:30 mile. I'm gonna try to get as much in as I can. It's actually getting pretty dark out here and there's like no lights here. So we gotta be quick. And then we'll try to get those 2 800s in. If we don't get them today, it's no big deal. So anyways, let's get to it. All right, first set of 4 400s complete. Was doing it with 1 minute rest. I'm actually gonna cut the rest back now that it's getting a little dark too quick. But we're gonna cut it down to 45 seconds. The average pace of all 4 combined was 6 minutes, 44 seconds. So ahead of schedule, a little bit closer to 5K pace than 10K pace. So hopefully the shorter rests slow it down a little bit, but only 15 seconds off. And then we're gonna knock out those 2 800s, which feel pretty good. My legs actually feel a lot better than I thought they would, but we're 33 seconds into this clip, so I have to get back to work. Let's roll. All right, it's getting really dark, but second set of 400-meter repeats done with the 45-second rest, and we were still pushing what? 6:54 at the end of it all. So a little bit faster than normal, but I mean, that's good. That shows progress is coming. Now we just gotta hit 2 sets of 800 meters, so 2 laps. Hopefully those, I'm guessing right now, calling it 7:15 to 7:20. And yeah, that's where I'm hoping to million. So I'm gonna get ready to do these last 4 laps total, and then we'll do a quick cool down. So, all right, it's very dark out, but 800 are complete, and we actually came in ahead of pace again, 7:07 for that last set. So I'm really happy with that. And I took a 1 minute break in between them, just so everybody knows. Now, gonna go to cool down. 1 little mile, quick light jog, and then next time I'll talk to you guys, we'll be back in the car. We'll go over the whole workout, show you the Strava, and then we'll head home. So see you guys in a few minutes. All right, we're back in the car. We're back home. I cut the cool down short, so we only did 4.5 mile workout. Half mile on the cool down just because it got too dark. I can't see. It's a gravel track. The last thing I need to do is roll my ankle, and it's also next to a graveyard, so it got pretty spooky. So yeah, definitely a good workout, very good workout. Heart rate stayed pretty good even at those higher paces. The rests felt good even though I felt like they were too long. That's why I pulled them back for that second set of 400s, but overall felt good. So I'm gonna go inside and we're gonna talk a little bit more about how to do a build-up for workouts. So hopefully you guys could use this as a little bit better structure for your half marathon build or whatever you may be training for. But I do plan to do a full video breaking down track workouts a little bit later on, and speed workouts in general, including tempo runs and negative interval splits. So we'll talk about more of that in just a minute. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to build your track workout. Different ways you can do it. 4 come to mind immediately for me, and you can play around with it as much as you like. The best thing you want to do is try to orient it around what type of race you're training for, because obviously you're not going to train for a 5K the same way you're going to train for a marathon, and you're not going to train the same way for a 10K that you would an ultra. So everything has a little bit of tweaking you can do, and these are a few great ways to tweak it. So the first thing you can do is adjust your paces and speed. Now, this one I feel like is the most important when you're picking what distance you're doing. Like I was saying, my 10K speed is what I like to use training for my half marathon because I feel like they're close enough in distance, and also just the way that I plan to strategize doing my half marathon, it resonates really well. But you can always play around with, do you want to do your track workout at 5K pace? Do you want to do your track workout at 10K pace, half marathon pace, etc.? It doesn't matter. It's not about just going all out. It's about getting all out of it that you can. So play it wisely, choose your pace, choose your speed that you want to work with, go from there. Next would be your duration of the rep. Now that could be how many meters you go, how long you go, because you can do reps that are 2 minutes at this speed, 2 minutes at that speed, 5 minutes at this pace, and then a 1 minute recovery. Or you could just do your meters, do 100, do 500s, do 1000s, 400s, it doesn't matter. But all you can do is you can play with how long your reps are, the same as you can change the duration of the rest time. So like I did tonight, where I had some of my sets were a 60-second rest and some of them are a 45-second rest. You can play with it as much as you want. You could do 30 seconds. You could do a complete stop rest where you're not walking around. I was walking around. I don't think I mentioned that. They were active recovery steps. So I just kept moving so I didn't lock up. But you can play with that as much as you want. Obviously that's going to strain you a little differently, so play with that as you will. It's always a fun thing to toy around with, see how your recovery times are. And then finally, the amount of reps. Now tonight I did 8 400s and 2 800s. I could have done 12 400 meters if I really wanted to. I could have did 16 400 meters if I really wanted to. You could just do, 8 800s if you really wanted to. It doesn't matter. You're able to play with this. This is why it's such a great customizable thing to add to your training plan. Now, is it perfect? No. Does it work? Yes. So play around, figure out what kind of workouts work great for you. I'm going to show you guys a sample of how I built it up through mine in just a second, once I draw it. Okay, now I know this looks like a lot, because it is a lot. Now, this is how I pretty much built up my track workouts through this half marathon build. I keep thinking about saying marathon build. That's coming up, but not yet. Not until the fall. But anyways, this is how I built it up. So I had 4 weeks because I was building this part. This was my higher intensity block, which was block 3. And week 1, we were hitting 4 times 400, 2 times 800, and 1 times 1200, all at the 10K pace with a 1 mile warm up and a 1 mile cool down. You're gonna see that in every set. But then as each week goes on, I increased a little more. I added 2 more 400s, and then I turned the 1200 into a 1600, which is a full mile. Now, as you see, keeps going up just a little bit till we get to 8 times 400 at 10K, 3 times 800 at 10K, and then still that 1 times 1600 at 10K. And then finally, the last high intensity week, we hit 8 times 400 at 10K, 4 times 800 at 10K, and then 1600 at 10K. Now, all this is I'm just building up my duration, but I'm not increasing the speed. I want to stay at this 10K pace. That is the plan. And thus far, this has actually worked relatively well for me. Now, obviously, I could always just say, scratch some of the distances back, like maybe cut the 400s that are at 8 down to 4, and then go to 5K pace, and then just speed it up a little bit. I could always do that. This is why this is a very adjustable way of kind of building things, but this is what I did to get me through my half marathon, and thus far, it's looking like it's lining me up for being able to push myself to about a 42 to maybe a 140 if I'm lucky. My last 10 miler, I did get down to about a 750-ish pace, so who knows what'll happen. We'll see what happens come race day, but this is what I did. It works out well. Obviously, you can toy around with this as much as you'd like, and also, like I said, I'm going to do a bigger video leaning in a little bit more on track workouts on a day where it's not pitch dark out when I'm trying to film, and we'll talk more about this, but I definitely think the track workout is a very valuable tool to have in your toolbox. So, all right, you guys, well, that is what I've been doing for track workouts through my half marathon build. We are officially just about 2 weeks out from race day, because today's date is March 7th. and the race is on March 24th. So we're almost there. Next week, I will be doing a video breaking down my strength training workout. I know I've been saying I was going to do it. I was a little bit under the weather and dealing with some fluctuations in my schedule, and it was getting really hard to film, but it is coming, promise. But I wanted to get my track workout done for you guys because this was the last one of the build. So I just wanted to at least showcase the idea of what it is I'm doing and that I'm doing them, period. Next, there will also be a race week video coming up very shortly. Obviously, as I get to race week, it'll probably be filmed the day before the race because I'm going to talk about the expo, packet pickup, all that stuff, because I get to go to Philly and have a little fun in the city. So stay tuned. We're almost done this build, and then it's race day. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for getting us over 300 subscribers. Really excited about this. I have been just excited with where we've been growing, where things have been going, all the new ideas I've gotten. It's just been a great creative year for me so far. So thanks. I will see you guys in the next one. Later, bros.